Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol TSLA for Tesla Inc. Of course. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First things first, this will of course be an update. You can see our chart is plenty marked up, and the main thing I want to discuss today is the type of candle that printed on today's session, and more importantly, its location, right? So certainly it was bearish out of the open. There's no denying that. We can see our low did move significantly lower, but look at where we've sort of closed, right? Overwhelmingly, if the sellers were going to remain strong here, they would have closed it weak down towards the lows. Let me zoom in on this a little bit further, actually. But instead, what you'll notice is we closed closer to that 1065, closer to the 50 SMA, closer to that level we had at 1081, 1080-ish, and the resistance trend line. So to me, it's not like all hope is lost, and we certainly have a daily hammer candle on our hands, indicating that the buyers did step up as we started to flush underneath that 1065, and instead of rather letting the sellers close it relatively weak. Let's take a closer look at the 30-minute intraday perspective just to see how the move unfolded. And once again, you can see it was just kind of a flash in the pan, a little bit of panic out of the open, and then rebounding and consolidating, spending more time, throughout the duration of the day towards the highs. So to me, it would seem that there's more value built up in this section. You can see more time was spent here as opposed to down towards the lows at 1020. So that to me is a little bit more of a bullish indication. Again, it's not to say that the chart can't go lower, but to me, if a stronger seller was present, as I've said a couple of times now, we should have been, spending more time down here towards the lows with those sellers pressing on the gas, trying to keep it, continuously moving lower, as I would imagine, into that big round number, 1,000. Just simply did not unfold that way. We can even prove that through the Fibonacci's, right? If we come in from the lows all the way on up to the highs of the first drive, I'm not going to cherry pick that one there, but the first drive there where the consolidation really happened, all of that was well above your 38.2. And sure, we're technically, not reading from the high of day either, but nonetheless, just, measuring this move right here, again, all of this consolidation was well above your short-term 38.2. So could there be a breakout higher? Yes, and that area would simply be up and over today's highs of day. And if we clean that up quickly, that's that 1080, 1081-ish area. If we can take this out, I would imagine we get a rotation into that number we've discussed in the past, the top end of the bull flag from the daily at 1117.50. That's the first sort of short-term scalp to the upside. Again, for you longer-term players, if you want to add more to the position, your position, if you have one off the prior all-time highs here, this hammer could potentially be your higher low. Remember that we've talked about in the past that 1,000 is the number that needs to hold. If this is the aggressive pullback that we're going to get and we're going to reverse out of it, this could be, that move, essentially, quote unquote, that move could be this, and this hammer could indicate the next bounce. Again, this is not to guarantee that it will bounce or anything like that, but I could see the logic here if you were inclined to add to your position long over the highs. And again, even if you're not long from down here and you wanted to initiate a new position, your stop would probably go under 1,000 at this point. Noting that we have a hammer in place, you would be well underneath the low here, you'd be well underneath the round number. I'm just looking at this through a number of different lenses. Obviously, in this instance, your move would probably be back up towards those all-time highs, looking for something like this over the course of time. Again, your entries here, your targets here, your stop is down here. You're roughly playing with, roughly a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Ideally, you could move the stop to break even as soon as possible. Just ideas I'm throwing out there for you. So that's ultimately what I'm seeing here inside of Tesla. If more downside is going to come, it needs to break this consolidation from the afternoon. So let me give you that level. It's slightly below that 1065. Then we'll wrap up the video. So flush point will be underneath 1058. In the post market, we're currently hanging out around 1065.07, 1066.59. So right around here. Okay, so just use this general area as a pivot, longs above and shorts back down underneath. That's going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it today or learned anything new, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.